Last month, the Catholic news agency reported on a new innovation in Germany's government. When Germans register as Catholic, Protestant, or Jewish on their tax forms, the government automatically collects an income from them which amounts to 8 or 9% of their total income tax. The quote-unquote church tax, as it's called, is given to the religious communities to help fund its parishes, schools, hospitals, and welfare projects. Charles, it seems like a brilliant way for the government to become the middleman in the donation payment process so that it can exert a huge amount of control over the church. Is this as bad as it seems, and should Catholics in America be worried that our government gets infected with this idea?
No, not at all, because its roots are deep in German history. You see, back in 1803, the Napoleonic government that ran Germany at the time, and its satellite states, Bavaria, Württemberg, and all that, seized a ton of church property. Enormous amounts. They grabbed it. And so after 1815, the question was, well, how do we compensate the church? We're not going to give them their property back, obviously. We stole it fair and square. So how are we going to pay it back? And the answer was the church tax.
Oh.
And so that's where that came from. This makes up, supposedly. I mean, obviously, to my way of thinking, paying the church a huge lump sum for everything that was stolen, or better yet, giving it all back and watch the church mismanage it back into private hands. But no, this is the way the state acknowledges what it did to the church back in 1803. And of course, I've been asked by people there and elsewhere, well, gee, when do you think enough's enough? And my answer is simple. If I stole your house and then said, from now on, I'm going to give you $15 a year in return for it, at what point would it be okay for me to stop paying your heirs $15 a year? The answer is never. That is the genesis of the church tax. Now, the downside of it in application, and there has been a downside. Number one, the German bishops are fabulously wealthy, and they really don't have to care about anybody. Not the Pope, not their people, not nobody. That's the first thing. Second problem is that, as Archbishop Gansewein, who was the secretary for Benedict XVI today, and also Francis's prefect of the papal household, he pointed out that in Germany today, they don't care if you're a heretic as long as you pay your church tax. That's what defines a Catholic. And of course, if you don't pay your church tax, you can opt out of it. But if you do, you won't be buried, you won't be married, your kid won't be baptized.
Okay.
So Benedict XVI protested against that. Archbishop Gansewein protested against that. The German bishops, of course, are not going. Nobody shoots Santa Claus. Nobody's going to kill the goose that lays the golden eggs, unless they're president of the United States and so on, moronic. So the thing is that the reason for having the church tax is very peculiar to Germany. In its inception, certainly it was a good thing. As it's worked out, it's had some pretty bad results, but those certainly weren't intended.
So you don't think it was malintent on the government's part, where they're setting up a system where it's like, you do what we tell you to, or you're not going to get your payment?
It could be used that way, but that was not the intention.
Okay.
I mean, and if they did do that, you see, every state in Germany has a concordat with Rome, under which the church tax is collected. So, again, if this sort of thing were done in the United States or Canada or Britain, it would be very strange and very, very foreign. It's not strange and it's not foreign in Germany.
Okay.
But as I say, it has had some unpleasant results, as Archbishop Gansewein and Pope Benedict pointed out. And it has had the effect of making the German bishops a law unto themselves. And believe me, that has been more of a threat to the church than anything the state's done.
I see.